What's up, everyone? Fire City Illusion, second musician band interview officially. It's not even 4 days since the website finally went live. Very excited to be here with Melody Cruz at Sports and Social, 7th and Hamilton. Incredible singer-songwriter. Seriously. I think the first time I saw you was Music Fest.
Yeah, I think that was the first time you saw me, was Music Fest.
Yeah. So I remember I saw your name before that, and I'm like, okay, I got to check her out.
Yeah.
And it was at Lager or Lagerplatz or whoever.
Yeah, well, I think however you say, Lagerplatz. I think so, yeah.
I'm part German, I can't even pronounce.
Yeah.
But so anyway, a little chilly out here. But how did you get your first start in music?
I started music when I was 3, actually.
Damn, that was like 2 years before I fell in love with music.
Well, because my parents were musicians. My dad, my mom, they met in a recording studio because my dad was producing music and my mom was sing. He recruited her to sing for him, and then basically they had me. They knew I was going to be a girl, and they were like, "We're going to name her Melody," and that's how I got my name. And so ever since I was like a little baby, my mom taught me how to sing. Yeah, so that's how I started.
Okay, now, how has your music evolved over, especially like recent years? And I don't bring up that P word or the C word, you know, that everybody's tired of hearing. But how has your music evolved, especially over the recent years? Like from just the first time you wrote your first song to now, where you're actually with the Audiophiles, an amazing cover band.
Right. Well, my music evolved a lot because when I was a kid, I was just mainly doing covers. I would write some songs, but nothing that I was confident enough to release. Then, actually, my dad asked me if I could record the vocals, a demo, for a song that he wrote back in 1995, and it's called "I'm Falling for You," and it's in the freestyle genre, so like CBB, the whole bunch of those kind of people. So I did "I'm Falling for You," and that actually did really well in the freestyle world. So I was doing that genre for a while, and then I realized, you know what, I'm ready to branch out and do pop music because I love pop music and I like to write that. So I released Too Late, I released Make Me Stay, Just Having Fun, I remember, and then I got more into the rock this past year with the Audiophiles, like you said, and I learned a bunch of rock songs that I didn't know before, and I haven't written any rock music yet, but it's in the plans. Okay,
well, as far as being a singer-songwriter, like, you just gave me an idea for another question. That's why I love doing the video reviews, the video interviews. Like, as far as rock and pop, most people know the genres, but they don't know from like the behind the scenes and the songwriting. How difficult is it to okay, you're familiar with pop, like how exactly from a songwriter perspective is rock and pop from the songwriter perspective? How different are they?
Well, chord-wise, the actual notes that the two genres are made of, they're not that different. They have a lot of the same chords and a lot of the same melodies, but the difference between pop and rock, it really is tempo, and it's the feel, it's the vibe, it's the way that you groove with the music. Rock is more bum 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 bum, when pop can be more boom ba boom ba boom ba.
Okay.
So there's different feels. It has to do with the beat. It has to do with what the style, the vocal style that you use when you sing. And honestly, it has to do, rock music usually deals with, a story, right? Like think about Bon Jovi. We love Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi always tells a story in his songs.
You what was it, Living on a Prayer? First time I heard that, I'm like, you just completely recreated that song.
Thank you. That's why I strive to do that, and that's the thing. I am, in my heart, I am a pop artist. So when I sing rock, I try to stay true to the genre, but I throw my own flair in there. So it's like pop rock, and that's honestly the distinction is just what you make it. You could sing a pop song in a rock style, and you could sing a rock song in pop style.
Okay. Now I want to get into a little bit behind the scenes real quick. We've been in the age of the indies for years now, especially with the internet, Amazon, Spotify, etc. How difficult is it really to be an indie musician, especially an indie singer-songwriter, to get known, to get your name out there, to even get here in Lehigh Valley, where for years since I started covering, 10 years ago, it's like a lot of places only book, cover music. How difficult is it to be an original singer, indie singer-songwriter?
Oh my God, it is damn near impossible. Damn near impossible. But you have to, this is for anybody listening, you have to not release music, you have to not perform because you want to be known or you want to be the most popular, famous, whatever. You have to do it because you love music, and that is actually something that I had to search in my soul over the last year, I want to say, but honestly, before that too. I realized that I wanted the recognition, I wanted people to know that I was talented, whatever. Now it's like, I drove myself nuts like that. I would belt my heart out at a show, and the only people that would clap would be like my family, like my dad, David, my gram. And and I would be like, I would get really just disheartened, and I would be like, wow, like I was just bitter. I got really bitter, and then I realized, I'm like, you know what? I'm not having fun anymore. I'm like, but I want to do music. Why am I not having fun? And I realized it's because I was valuing my self-worth as a musician based off of the reaction I got from other people. But now I have a totally different perspective, and I realize that it's not about other people at all. It's literally about you. And trust me, like, I know that not everybody likes me. Like, there was a guy here at Sports and Social earlier tonight. He had like headphones in. Like, there's always going to be people that don't like you, but there's always going to be people that really do. Like you, Michael. And I'm glad I met you. And that's why. So people like you are what make it so worth it to me. And I'm so glad to have met you.
I'm particular. Now that I'm kind of like done here in the valley, pretty much done here in the valley with the business side. I'm real particular about what bands I'll just go and see, honestly, and just, so I can enjoy them. Another question, kind of like behind the scenes, but not. Have you ever done a show where it was kind of like, and I know you have because I actually witnessed one, where it was kind of like, it didn't matter if it was you there, a DJ, or, basically you were just background music, and how difficult is that where, excuse me, where you're not getting any reaction at all from the audience?
It is.
I'm not asking you to mention places, people.
Oh yeah, I know, I get it. It is. It's difficult. I would be lying if I said it's not. It's compare it to this. Compare it to like if you don't get like complimented on a nice outfit or something. Like, you know what I mean? It's that same feeling where you as a human, you're gonna have that emotion where you're like, why don't people like it? You question yourself a little bit. You say, am I doing something wrong? But you know what? I'm be honest. I have been questioning myself less. And when I don't get the reaction I want, I think to myself, I'm like, you know what? These people came out, no matter where I am, here or any other place. They came out, they didn't come for me. I'm not at that level yet. I've accepted that, and I'm building my way to that. I don't have enough of a fan base or a following yet where people will come out to see me. But they're there to hang out with their family or friends. They're there to watch, like tonight, a sports game. And I am like the third, fourth, fifth, or 10th thing on their mind, if I'm on it at all. And I have to just accept that, and I have to think about it as in, if one or two people that night come up and say, wow, you were really good, and they scan my sign or whatever, then I consider that a victory. If I have one person in a night say they enjoyed me, I'm like, wow, that's above and beyond, because realistically, I come in with the expectation that I'm not going to get any reaction. So when I do, it's very special to me. I'm very thankful for it.
Okay, yeah, I remember the show this past Sunday. You were with the audio files, and that's like the reason why I went over to the stacks, and it's like, okay, I need some good live music, and like the people that were sitting up front, I'm like, either you're completely wasted, which is an Oktoberfest, so it could be understandable, or you're just mindless drones, because you and the band got the applause, but it's like, I'm sitting there like, come on, this is like serious, incredible rock music that and you're just sitting there. It's like, really?
Well, another thing I want to say is I think that has a little bit to do with where we live. Like the Lehigh Valley is an amazing place, but I'm saying like this isn't a music town or place. This is like a sports and...
It no longer is. I grew up here in the 70s and 80s. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'll say this point blank. The Lehigh Valley music scene has devolved over the past couple decades, where back in the 80s you had like the main gate, you had music venues that you have major bands like Kansas on a waiting list. So yeah, I completely agree with you where this has become like more of a family sports, sports area.
Like I was talking to another musician. I'll say his name because he's amazing. Look him up, Seth Litcher. He's really good.
I want to catch him at Music Fest, and it's just too many bands.
Him and I chat sometimes if you're watching the Seth. But he told me something, and he was like, "Listen, he's like a lot of the people in this area are just not music people. Like some people just don't like music." And he actually told me, he's like, if you go to Atlanta or places that are specifically music towns, like New York, big cities basically, he said it is night and day.
Fishtown section in Philadelphia, I was introduced to that about a month and a half ago with Velvet Rouge. You have Kung Fu Necktie, you have like Johnny Brendan's, there's a place right across the street. So
yeah, so I mean, it depends on also where you are. Like, I always remind myself that a lot of the people that come out to see me, they probably just got done with a long work day. You know, they probably have to go home and have a bunch of other responsibilities. So it's not like I have to not take it personally when I don't get the reaction that I necessarily want. You know, and I always think like maybe somebody enjoys it and they're just shy to say something. Like, you know, so I try not to honestly think about it too much. I try to just stay in my little bubble and like when I'm up there, like in my zone, and I create my art and I perform. And if one person enjoys it, I feel like it's a victory. And if nobody enjoys it, I still feel good about it because I did my best.
Okay, two questions. I noticed the temperature is dropping. Okay, can you give everybody a quick rundown on like the marketing side of it, the difficulties, and like everything from marketing to like when you're getting ready for a show, even deciding what you're going to wear. You know what I mean? It's like, if you could give everybody just like a quick rundown on the true behind the scenes and all the work that actually goes into it.
I got you. Well, okay, so let's talk about the different categories. So like you said, clothes, like, here, I'll do a little stand up so you can see my outfit like this. This took me a little bit to figure out how to wear. Like, you know, and I'm like, I have to think, I'm like, how am I going to dress so that I come off the way that people want to see me? How am I going to dress so that I don't offend anybody, but I can still express myself, my art, right? So clothing, I have to do a lot of shopping. I go to a lot of thrift stores, a lot of Goodwill, because the reality is you can't wear the same outfits out too often. And it sucks. Like, you make a really nice outfit, but that's it, one and done. Or you bring it back a year and a half later when everybody forgets about it. You know what I mean?
It's that important though. I never really thought about it.
It is almost as important as the songs you actually choose to sing that night of what you're wearing, because if you look like a slob, I'm sorry, but people are gonna write you off, you know. And I hate, it's not right, it shouldn't be like that, but it's true. Like, already, you know, it's hard, you have to fight to get people's attention, and if you don't look your best, you're not gonna get it, you know. And that's something that is just a reality, and I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right. I don't personally go through the world that way, but I've experienced a lot of, you know, comments about my appearance and just being told that I'm not good looking enough for the industry, and so I've tried my best to kind
of... You have a boyfriend, no comment.
Well, but it's just...
Okay, bad joke.
It's okay, but I've gotten those, I'm not saying I believe that, but I've gotten a lot of comments like that, and I've just tried my best to kind of work on my appearance and come off in a way that people will think I'm put together. I'm not put together, but to make them think I'm put together. So clothing is important. It's draining. I have to do a lot of shopping, a lot of thrifting, a lot of all that crap. Then if you go to social media, that's a whole other workload, because you got to keep Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, blah, 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 all updated with interesting content every single day. You have to find time to make it. You have to find time to edit it. You have to find time to post it. And you have to find time to reply to the comments. It is very difficult, social media, but I love it. I love what I do, and it is a lot of work. What was the other thing you have?
Like marketing and like when you get to the point where you know, like I know you get to the point where you have merchandise like t-shirt stuff.
So I don't
How difficult
have any
is that?
Merchandise, unfortunately, but I am working on merchandise. The thing is, when it comes to marketing, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I release a song, the main marketing that I do is I maybe will do a paid ad on Facebook. Like, I'll have an ad run for a little bit, or I'll post about it a couple times a week on my Facebook and Instagram story, because, the one thing I did is, I have an ad in Network magazine right now, which is a local Lehigh Valley magazine. So like, I market where and when I can. I don't have a huge budget for it yet because I am a small artist. But mainly right now, the way that I look at it when I release something new is I'm not expecting 1 million likes or views. I'm building my portfolio so that one day when something does click, like when I release that song that does make it to B104, or when I release a song that there's people singing along in my gigs, then if they like that, they're gonna have the other things that I already released that everybody ignored the first time. They're gonna have that to go, oh wow, she did this, and then it'll all be there. So right now, it's almost like I don't get a lot of streams or views and all that stuff, but it's an investment, you know. And it also, there's a lot of competition out there, you know, and it's just people just aren't as interested in it as they were. So it's very hard, but it's worth it. It's hard and it's worth it. A lot of sacrifices, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Okay. Final question, and I've ended almost every interview this way for a very long time. Even though you pretty much answered this already throughout the interview. Advice to other musicians and creators in general, whether artists, indie media like myself, you know, 3D designers, etc. Advice to other indie creators out there.
So, you're saying advice from creators. So,
especially musicians, because
Oh, okay. Advice, I'm going to go back to number one. Don't worry about other people. Worry about you. Don't, like, and I'm a hypocrite because I still do this stuff, but I try to correct myself when I find myself doing it. Don't go to the other musician that you know that already has 10,000 Instagram followers and go, oh my God, now that they did it, I must not, there's no room for me now, I'm done. That's one thing. Don't think there's no room for you. There's room for you. You know, everybody has their own market, everyone has their own thing. Worry about yourself. Do things that you enjoy. Don't worry about what other people want, because if you do it and you like it, somebody will. Even if it's only 1% of the world, that's still like a couple million people or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? If it's 1% of the world that likes it, you're still gonna have a couple million people that enjoy what you do, and that's amazing, you know? So just remember that everybody, honestly, once you drill it into your head that we are all insignificant, like every single person's insignificant, it's liberating, because then you don't feel like you need to prove anything, and you can just be who you are, and the right people will follow you and find you when the time is right.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, especially after being here for 3 hours and three sets. I apologize for getting here late. It was just that kind of a day.
No worries.
So I think I saw you're going to be back here in 2 weeks, according to your website.
Yeah.
It'll probably be inside with the temperatures.
Probably, yeah. I'm gonna guess it'll be inside.
So, but yeah, check out Melody Cruz. Definitely, like I said, you know, for me to actually come out and just start enjoying music for a change. For me to actually start getting a list, and you know, it's like, okay, I'll try. Yeah, I'll be around that weekend. I'll pop out and experience your performance again, especially your originals. I love very much. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Michael.